Welcome to another St. Pete by Night production. The following is rated for mature audiences and may contain graphic themes that will be distressing to some viewers. As always, we recommend you ensure the safety and well-being of yourself and those around you at all times. Viewer discretion is advised.
In the heart of night, we rise from shadows, howling at the moon, igniting our battles, cleansing dire of an endless fight, until our final days we will fight. Face band, we stand united as one. Evil spirits lurking with horror and dread. Little light leads us where the grave dare tread. Glory and honor, wisdom in our hand. Together we rise, take our final stand. Everywhere we run, the wind is at our back. All the Wyrm forces we will track. From the depths of the ocean to the clouds in the sky, vampires tremble as we learn to fight. Rage across Tampa, in this fight we'll stay. Evil spirits lurking with horror and dread. Little light leads us where the grave dare tread. Glory and honor, wisdom in our hand. Together we rise, take our final stand. Rage across Tampa, in this fight we'll stay. Everywhere with the pack, let the night be our guide. In battles of honor, we shall never hide. They'll never hide.
Good evening and welcome to the St. Pete by Night Entertainment Network. St. Petersburg by Night is a World of Darkness role-playing community originating in St. Petersburg, Florida. My name is Kent, also known as Kent on all social media, and I will be your storyteller tonight. It's Friday night, and you know what that means. It's time for Hounds, our Werewolf the Apocalypse 5th edition chronicle set in Tampa Bay, Florida, where a pack of young guru have traveled from Michigan to assist the Sept of the Evening Star in combating the forces of the Wyrm, both physical and spiritual. You can follow St. Pete by Night on all of the social media listed in the description down below, and you can join our community by following that Discord link where you could take part in one of the many activities we have running all month long. We are now offering for players to run or play in 20th anniversary or Chronicles of Darkness games as well, so head on over and join our community today. Now let's introduce our players. Players, go ahead and introduce yourselves if you please.
Hi there, everyone. I'm Nikki, and I will be playing Delphine Ruin Speaker, the Silent Strider Theurge, who has proven twice now that she is made of glass.
Hi everyone, my name is Lilith and I'll be playing Juniper Kameen, the Ragabash Black Fury.
Hey everyone, my name is Ben. I'll be playing Raymond Gorn, the Ghost Council Philodox.
Unfortunately, our dear Arun, Jay, aka Forged from Failures, will not be able to join us tonight, but we look forward to their return next week. So let's get everybody caught up to date on where we are. First, we saw Juniper and Ray last week go to visit Artie to get some much-needed intelligence about the shipment that is leaving Piney Point and headed for state lines. They got some very, very valuable intelligence, including route, manifest, and the knowledge that there is a space within the truck that is not accounted for to help better prepare them for what lies ahead. They also have come to know that the driver is, in fact, human and should be unaware of any events happening within the world beyond the veil. We then saw Delphine and Forged head to the storage unit that was alluded to by the Ratkin, only to find the wrecked car that Lilia had been seen in last. After seeing this threw Forged into a frenzy, a uncontrollable rage in which he tried to barrel his way out of the storage complex, only to be interfered with by Delphine, who got a beating near to death for her trouble. But because of the pain inflicted upon her, Forged was able to regain his senses and shift out just in time to help her return to the cairn for some much needed medical attention. Speaking of which, after the break, we saw Sean and Ray have a conversation by the fire about a lot of topics, to be completely honest, a bonding moment between the two of them. But what it really ended up coming down to was closure over the death of Red and the old sept. And through some ritualistic ability, Sean was able to summon the ancestor spirit of Red to have one last conversation with Ray. Shortly after that conversation, Forged and Delphine arrived at the cairn. Delphine still very much broken and bloodied, and they tended to that matter, Sean assisting with her healing as Ray tried to figure out what the hell happened at that storage unit. More to be learned, more to unfold as time progresses. But that being said, let's get to tonight's episode with our first scene. Juniper and Ray. After your meeting with Artie last week, Ray, you picked up some issue that Juniper might be having, especially after you revealed the fact that you have been trying to help someone afflicted by a bane for many years now, withholding that information from your fellow packmates up until your revelation just a few weeks ago. Having noticed that edge to her voice, her obvious sarcasm or anger potentially towards you, you've decided that you want to talk to her about it in private. Now you're at the cairn because you have to meet up with Delphine and head into the nearby swamps to do a little bit of research to assist you with your issue with Jordan. But before that, you approach Juniper at the cairn for a conversation. It is cold, all things considered, outside for Florida, but it's still probably considered warm for all of you who've been here less than a year at this point. But the temperatures are hovering around the highs of the 50s at the moment and dropping down to the lows of the 40s at night. But in the cairn, still temperate and comfortable. The scene is yours.
So as I arrived and I walking through the cairn, looking around, I know Juniper usually walks the trails. And so I have a mind to kind of start walking there before. But at this point, I'm just looking around the immediate area just to see if I see her.
I am not too far away. I'm not like within the main area of the cairn. But I'm not at my usual spot. I just kind of wandered off in the whimsy of nature.
Okay. Well, Ray, why don't you roll me a wits and survival or wits and investigation? Actually, wits and awareness to try and find her.
Site-based?
Yes, definitely.
I just need that extra die. Three successes.
Okay. So it takes you a little bit of time heading out into the bawn itself, going through the trees, getting close to the swampland. But as you get further and further out of the cairn, you find near the edges of the bawn that it's actually more comfortable as of late than it has been for several weeks before. Something that was looming around the edges seems to have dispersed. And while you're in the cairn, you don't feel it. It's fine, it's comfortable, but there had been something off around the edges of the cairn until recently. But as you press onward, you eventually do find Juniper wandering whimsically through the trees.
Finally catching up and seeing her wandering, I will approach and make my presence known in the approach, stomping a little bit, maybe heavier, making a little bit more noise, walking through the bush. Hey, Juniper, do you have a minute?
I look back at Ray after studying some moss on a tree. Oh, yeah. What's up?
When we went to go talk with Artie, there's a few times some of the jokes and the comments that were made. I don't know. I had a feeling that there was something on your mind that you wanted to talk about, and so I wanted to kind of maybe get anything that you have any worries or anything just out in the open. Because at this point, I don't want to hide anything. So it just feels a little bad that there's this maybe tension. And I don't really want those comments and things to keep going and cause a bigger issue.
I tilt my head a little bit and just stay silent as he talks, thinking about how I want to word this without sounding like the biggest cunt in existence. Uh, yeah. Well, I kinda, and I scratch the back of my head. I kinda said it already, but I am still pretty pissed at you for lying to me about your friend and leading me to believe they've been dead this whole time. And instead, they're not trapped in a house somewhere that you still have not given us the location to. Who knows what they're doing? You know, it's this is a lot, and I'm just upset about that you lied to me about it all. But none of us are perfect, so.
I'll scratch the back of my head and my neck a little bit at that and kind of look down at the ground. Yeah. I mean, I can't really protect myself in the sense of, yeah, I've been lying to you guys this entire time. I mean, though, not to be or show semantics, but technically I never stated that he was dead.
Which is why I very specifically said, led me to believe that he was dead. You manipulated every conversation about him that we had in an effort to, create some sort of bond between us, the heart to hearts. You made it sound real close. Like right there at the my friend is dead and I'll never get him back.
I mean, it feels that way sometimes, but I don't know if it means much, but I do apologize for that. I do feel bad that I led you and everyone else in the pack along in this narrative, but in my mind, I was protecting him, and in that, I didn't see an issue with it.
Yeah. Well, you know, take it from me. And I look into a space where nothing is there. The lies always catch up, Ray. They will always catch up to you.
I agree. And it took me a while to come clean, but that's why I kind of told you guys, because I knew at this point, the longer I held on to it and the longer I kept him a secret, then the worse the outcome was going to be.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, I want to help. We all want to help. It's not the issue. Just feel like I got to give you some shit about lying, you know? We're all getting called out on our bullshit about lying. I feel like we're all getting called out. You know? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I gave you a lot of shit when everything about Delphine's parents happened, and that was very hypocritical of me. I understand that. And so I apologize for that. I mean, I want to, because I feel like at this point, like you said, the bonds between me and the rest of the pack are a little bit strained. And you guys do want to help me. It's plain to see. But I want to start to kind of reforge that strain. So is there anything I can do or say that might help? Might help you be a little bit less angry with me?
Well, look, I'm always going to have your back. I'm going to call you out on your shit. Just like we're all expected to call each other out on our shit. But you got to trust us more. Don't let something like this happen again. Like and where even is this house? I guess I guess that's one thing. You can you know, take take somebody to where this is so that we can help. Like you told us about it, but you're not even like letting us near the situation to use our skills or anything.
I know. But I'm looking at it this way. If I show up with all of you and we're not prepared in that immediate moment to help him enact the right or any other solution that we've come up with, and I just show up with you guys. Obviously, he's leaving. He's getting out of the house. if I show up with all of you and we leave, who's to say that he's not going to leave again and then just not come back? That's my biggest fear right now, is he knows that he can come back at a specific time and be there when I'm there. But if he's aware that you all are aware of this, then I'm not certain of that anymore. That's not a guarantee.
I understand that perspective on it, and it does make sense. I just a few of us can see into the other side of things, so to speak, and it's a serious problem. It's a serious problem. Everything is just giving me a lot of anxiety, and as we're talking, I just start like playing with my fingernails and like flicking them and stuff. I just I feel like we're not doing anything about it, and as every day that goes by, he's just running amok on top of all the other issues going on. So, yeah, I I'm just upset because I feel like I was directly manipulated during a time where I just genuinely tried to be open with you. And this is a serious shit situation on top of all of the other things that we're dealing with, and it's just very stressful. And I know that it's even more stressful for you because he's your friend and everything. It's all a lot. It's all a lot. And I just kind of like start shifting uncomfortably.
I'll walk a little bit closer, um, and then, well, I hope you know that the talks that we did have and the things that I said, I mean, I admitted the truth. I did not fully tell you what was happening and what was going on, but everything I did say was truthful. The things I said to you, you know, to get closer and to create that bond, none of that was fake. I never lied about anything in that. So hopefully you can understand that. But I know that this is a problem that needs to be dealt with quickly. And we're I'm worried about it. I am. But I want us to be able to complete this main mission for the Sept before pulling you all into my own personal issue. And I know Delphine's still figuring stuff out, and I want her to be fully prepared and ready for when we go to enact this rite that I hope will fix him. That I hope will help him to cure him and relieve him of his pain. But until she's 100% ready after this mission, and once the mission is complete, then I'm going to deal with this then as soon as I can. I'm not going to dance around it anymore.
Okay. All right. Then we will make sure that that is the focus after dealing with the truck. And is it something that I am learning too, but your personal problems are the pack's problem? Like we we all are here to help each other. And you see my face just like visibly shake as I try not to vomit in my mouth a little bit. And despite everything, it's what am I trying to say here? I just sigh in defeat. Just don't feel like you're a burden because of all of this, and don't keep shit to yourself, because it's each one of us doing that is just destroying ourselves and causing more issues. And uh, we don't want anything even more terrible to happen that would destroy our bonds as a whole. So let's just be more honest going forward.
I can promise you that if any more personal stuff comes up, if anything happens that might, hurt the bond or the pack itself, I mean, I will be as truthful as I possibly can with what I know at that time. Because, I mean, that's all I can really promise. Um, but I also don't want something bigger or greater to come from this. And I agree, I don't want something like that to happen, to completely destroy what we have right now. But I guess speaking of personal stuff, how how's your situation with the ghosts? How's that all going? Are you figuring it out?
You see Juniper's face contort into a very not pleased look, and just shades of several different emotions flash before she swallows and looks down, shakes her head. Yeah. Well, it. Yeah.
That good?
I look up at the night sky and the stars and everything. I am not looking forward to what I have to do to fix that.
So you found a way to hopefully make things better?
Yeah, you could say that. It's it shouldn't be as hard as it is going to be.
I mean, what is it exactly? Because, I mean, you just told me about being truthful about our personal issues, so I mean, do what you preach. Like, what do you have to do?
I just stare at him and a smile, but it doesn't quite meet my eyes. Yeah, I deserve that. I just have to apologize. I have to apologize.
And to mean it, I'm assuming.
Yes, I have to mean it. Because, and I sigh again, despite everything that happened to my family, they were also a family with a complex living situation. And reacting just as violently doesn't solve anything. You just see my hands clench up into fists as I continue to talk.
I'll walk up next to Juniper, smirking a little bit. And then I will also look up at the sky. I mean, everything is not black and white. So everything is complex. The world is shades of gray. I know that it's weird coming from me to hear that. But at the moment, at the time, you felt that your reaction was justified. And then turns out that it's more complex and it isn't. It's what you did was in lack of a better word, absolutely horrible. And I'm not judging you for that. Like I said, it's the decision you thought worked. But you've grown and you've changed. And hopefully you've come to realize that what you thought was the best wasn't the best. There could have been something different. There could have been a different option.
You know, the reason I don't even want, the reason why I don't apologize about it is is because I don't know how to look at myself in the mirror and tell that broken girl who lost her family that the actions she took and the revenge that she got meant absolutely it meant absolutely nothing. And it's just destroyed what could have been a great friendship between another member of our pack. And it was all fucked and literally pointless. All of it. Whole thing. Completely pointless. You know, it didn't bring my parents back, didn't bring my brothers back. And now I have to apologize for it on top of it having not meant a single thing. So yeah. Great. It's great.
I will look down at Juniper and reach up and put my hand on her shoulder if she lets me. And I mean, in my opinion, if you were to speak to the past you and explain everything, all you can really say is that you messed up, that you stumbled, that you made a bad choice, and that bad choice doesn't fully define you. You stumbled and you made a bad decision, and you have to work to fix that. Everyone does it. Everyone stumbles and falls. But it's how you pick yourself up, move forward, and correct that mistake, correct that major screw up. You haven't lost that friendship. It'll take a lot of time and a lot of effort to reforge it, but it's not going to completely disappear. I think that if you just wholeheartedly try to move forward in that aspect and make true amends, that it will come out for the greater at the end. And sure, your revenge at this point may be for naught, but that doesn't mean that going forward you can't fulfill that revenge. You can't take out the people that were directly the cause of it, that were the ones that ordered it. You find those people, you look into them, find out if they are the ones that are truly behind it. And if they are in this world that we are a part of, if they knew what they were doing, knew what to be, what they were destroying and what they were causing, then your revenge can be fully fulfilled. But at this point, yeah, you screwed up. But it's not the end. There's always there's always a tomorrow, there's always a next time. There's always something more that you can strive for.
Yeah. I know it isn't like permanently fucked up and everything, and that all we can do is just move it forward. But it just sucks. This all just sucks. And the more I even just think about it, about like the actual levels of chaos and rot and destruction and everything, it just, I thought I was hot shit when when I tore them apart. I thought I was doing something so incredibly powerful and that it would be so impactful. And then to learn that they like were barely even middle management, and that it just like goes way beyond what any of us could imagine. It's just a lot. I I just I just want to burn it all, and I don't even know where to start or how to properly start. And when moves are made, there are all mistakes, and I just uh, I just keep fucking up. Yeah, I just keep fucking up.
I mean, like you said to me, it's because you've been doing it all by yourself. I mean, we can help you find the track and find the correct path towards you getting what you want. We can all help you on that. You just gotta tell us, which coming from me is funny, but I'm trying to learn from what you and what everyone else is saying. And secondly, I think that that's an open secret for us, is that we think that we're the top dog when we learn about what we are, but none of us are. None of us are big shots. None of us do things correctly. We all just stumble forward, and we win sometimes and we lose the others.
Yeah. We're both shit at taking our own advice, aren't we?
Yeah, 100%.
What a bunch of hypocrites.
Well, speaking of, I guess, starting to make amends and starting to reforge relationships, me and Delphine are heading over to swamp area to find out some information about a few things. We were going to have Sean come with us, but that's not really an option right now. So if you want to come, make it a little bit more of a pack meeting / pack expedition, you know, we can all work towards the goal together. Might be able to figure some extra things out if you come along.
Oh, yeah. I'll just kind of smile awkwardly. Uh, I would love to come. I gotta talk to Delphine first, but yeah, yeah, I'll come along.
Well, we're gonna leave in like 15 minutes. I don't know if you'll be able to talk to her first, but
Oh, fuck. Oh God. Okay. Oh God. Oh Jesus. Okay. Okay. All right. Yep. Nope. Everything's fine. Okay. Yep. All right. um. Yeah. No, yeah. No, that's fine.
all right, sounds good. We're, like I said, heading out in a bit, so come on, power through. And I'll just tap her shoulder and turn around and start heading back towards the main area of the cairn.
I just look at him a little dumbfounded as he walks away, and I just look at my shoulder and like brush it off a couple times. What the fuck was that? Okay. All right. And then I'll catch up to him.
As you return towards the cairn, hiking through the woods, back to that place of tranquility and peace, what's going through your minds after this conversation with one another? Juniper, we'll start with you and then go to Raymond.
Juniper is very anxious. Knowing what she has to do in order to at least begin the path of making things right has not really been great for her. She's having to process through everything that's happened with new perspectives that she has grown into, and processing through the grief and everything while still also dealing with everything that they're going through pack wise, and everything is just, it's a lot. It's a lot for her. So she's a little bit of an anxious mess, and she's very restless. She's feeling like she has to do something to fix this in a way only she knows how, and that's through violence, not diplomacy. So it's a little bit of a struggle for her. I shouldn't say diplomacy. It should be like more like just human empathy, baseline human empathy. And we all know she struggles with that. So yeah, not great. Not great, guys.
And Ray.
It's good to know that my feeling was sort of correct, that there was something unsaid and there was some more to be said about the situation. So I'm glad that I came and talked to her, kind of forced the conversation, because Juniper opened up a little bit more and I was able to be a little bit more truthful about how I felt and what was going on, which I think was very needed. And there was a realization that everyone, I think, in the pack is trying to do everything by themselves when it comes to certain personal things. And obviously that's not working. I mean, I isolated myself a lot when dealing with the Jordan situation, and it was kind of obvious that Juniper was doing the same. So hopefully, if we start doing more things together, if more conversations like this happen, then that will be actually less of an issue. And what was preached between me and Juniper will actually follow through. So hopefully that's a good thing.
As you return to the cairn, we transition to our next scene. Our next scene begins in the early evening, where despite the setting sun, the stars can still be seen starting to show themselves in the sky overhead. But there is no sky to be seen for this trio, as they have ventured into the deep, deep woods outside of the bawn of the cairn. The swamp, where death and decay entwines with life and growth in a discordant harmony. Delphine, Raymond has come to meet you, but he's brought Juniper in tow along with him for the three of you to head into the deep swamp where we find ourselves now. Conversation was very brief upon your meeting, as time was of the essence as the dark creeps over the sky. And a place of the Wyrm's dwelling is not a place you want to be caught too late at night. So as you have started feeling the ground getting softer beneath you, the puddles starting to form on the ground nearby, a green, almost algae across the surface of the water. The scene is yours.
Delphine will be walking up to the edge of the water, looking out towards the swamp, and is a little caught off guard by how much it can resemble hell a little bit, just because the areas around hell were pretty swampy too. There was a lot of lakes and water, so just looking at this area, she can't help but think about hell in this moment, and just glances a little bit over her shoulder. This looks like the place right by the Hell Saloon.
A little bit. Yeah, now that you pointed it out. Really quick, as we're walking, I do want to activate sharpened senses
Okay.
because we're coming in. And then you said it is nighttime.
It's early evening, enough that the stars can start to be seen peeking through, and there's kind of like a bluish, purplish sky overhead as the sun is setting on the horizon.
In the area that we're at, are there like pockets of dark? Or is
Yes.
it, if I activate the eyes of the owl, would it be a hindrance to me or would I be fine?
No, it would help.
with that?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I'll activate both of them.
Okay, so as your dark vision takes hold, your eyes taking a yellow hue, there are pockets of black shadow, but seeing through them with your gift-given sight, there doesn't seem to be any threat present.
So I'll leave it up to you guys. Would you guys want to potentially cross into the Umbra for this? And she looks at Ray, since you can't really see into the Umbra like me and Juniper can.
If it makes finding out whatever we need to find out easier, then yeah. But would it be more dangerous to cross over there, especially where we're going?
I mean, there's always a risk going into the Umbra, especially when you're dealing with worm spirits, but it could honestly be just as dangerous here.
I agree with Delphine. It would be probably about as equal risk.
Plus, there's probably like gators in there.
Fair enough. Yeah, if you feel like it's a good option, then yeah, I'm all for it.
Do wish Sean was here for this, but I get it. He had to go to the country road place. So, and she'll take a deep breath, shake out her wrists a little bit. Okay, so we'll go into the Umbra. We'll find a worm spirit real quick. Just talk to them a little bit, ask them a few questions about whatever those things were that Sean was talking about and Stakes was talking about. And see if we can get some intel that could potentially help this out.
So as you begin the rite of shadow passage, joining hands with your pack mates, you begin the chanting, almost incantation, to open the way. Go ahead and make a renown, whatever your highest renown is, and occult roll.
Does my Umbra specialty come into play?
Yeah.
All right, and then it's 2 rage dice for Juniper and Ray.
Correct.
That would be 2, 3, 7 successes with a crit.
Okay. It is probably one of the smoothest transitions you've witnessed so far. As the real world melts away, that essence of swamp takes hold. The pools seem deeper, the trees loom overhead, and the darkness, the choking darkness, becomes even more vast, even more profound. You're able to see for the most part, as on the umbral side of things, pockets of starlight break through the trees up above, as if the stars are shining just a little bit brighter for this particular endeavor, guiding your way, giving you a path. Luna and the Loon assisting you in this endeavor as they shine down overhead. But the rot can still be felt. The decay is still ever present. But you have transferred over to the other side successfully.
Okay. That went pretty smooth, actually.
A fun ride as always, that's for sure.
Delphine will arch her brow a little bit at a Juniper, just like okay, and we'll look to Ray. All right, I guess I haven't done this before. This is literally us doing something like this for the first time. So I guess we look around, scout around. I don't know. Call out.
I mean, I was just about to ask you, what do you want to do now? Because I haven't done something like this before.
Okay. The urge.
We just need to.
We just
Sorry.
need
Do we just need to talk to a spirit? Like, is there any special ritual we need to do, Delphine? Do you know?
There is a rite that I know that Garu can do that can summon spirits. I have not yet learned it. The Theurge training wheels are a little bit off for me right now. I usually do a lot of this stuff supervised by Eliza or Sean or Jace if he's around. But and she'll just like look around the swamp area. If there are any spirits out there that'd be willing to speak with us.
As you call out, your voice reflecting off of the trees, coming back to you in a distorted echo. At first, there's no response. But Delphine, I'd like you to make an honor and persuasion roll. If you'd like, you can take an additional rage dice from your two fellow companions.
I will take that, actually. Two successes.
For the longest time, there's no response to be given. The silence looms, only the ambient sound of a decaying forest can be heard. The creaking of branches as the wind blows through them. And just when it seems like there will be no answer, one of the trees starts to crack along its trunk. Bark breaks away, brittle and hollow, as a swarm of centipedes comes crawling out of the crack along the base of the tree. And from within that crack, two black reflective orbs stare at you from beyond in the darkness of the tree. Now, even with your sight, Raymond, details are few. But what you can see, for the most part, is an almost serpentine-looking head in the tree, in the hollow of the tree. a lizard-like body attached to it. Who would call the spirits of the swamp?
Garu of the Sept of the Evening Star, who wish to speak with spirits of the Wyrm.
A dangerous business for Garu. It's not of your kind to call upon us.
While that may be true, the Wyrm is part of the Triad, and we must deal with you spirits just as much as we would deal with the Weaver and the Wild. So if you'd be open to it, we would entreat you to have a conversation with us.
State your names and your business.
The Garu Nation would call me Ruin Speaker. I am a Theurge of the Silent Striders, here with questions regarding the Wyrm and Black Spiral Dancers.
I am Raymond Gorn, Philodox of the Ghost Council tribe.
And I am Juniper Kameen, Ragabash of the Black Fairies.
Your business.
The same as Delphine's. As
Mine as well.
Your energy says otherwise. But speak your questions.
North of here, in the state of Michigan, the Black Spiral Dancers entered battle with 3 septs of Garu. The Garu of the 3 septs were unable to heal during this fight. And 2 surviving Garu of this conflict, when they returned, described to us stones that were being pulled from the earth. We would ask if you know any information regarding these stones and what their properties and purpose are.
Give me a charisma and persuasion, or manipulation and persuasion.
I'll go with manipulation.
Is it possible to assist?
Yeah, tell me how you'd assist.
I will turn to the spirit. The 2 survivors are dear friends of ours. And knowing what happened to them and what caused them the harm would be not only great benefit, but it would be a great peace of mind. Knowing what we have to face ahead and what we might come across.
Sure, go ahead and take the additional die.
I'll spend willpower. right, that's 3 successes.
I know of what you speak. Creation of weaver make, harnessed by us. In the most corrupt areas of the world, where man has battled man, harnessing weapons of mass destruction. So are these things made. Warm stones, filled with radiation, poison, and decay. If a mere mortal were to be exposed, the poison would infect and grow within. Your kind are fortunate to only suffer the effects of slow recovery.
Hearing this information, Delphine looks over at Ray and Juniper and just frowns. It's literally nuclear material.
I mean, it's one of humanity's greatest and most feared creations.
Spirit, what would we call you?
There's a long pause, as if they're considering the question. My name is of little importance.
Delphine sighs a little bit. Do you know of a way to combat these worm stones?
Why would you combat it? Why not embrace what's already coming?
That's not how Garu were created for.
What exactly is coming?
The end. Apocalypse.
If the end was truly coming, then we would not have been chosen so recently. we were given our roles in this fight not too long ago, if apocalypse is right around the corner, why make more warriors? It's obviously not the end. There's something still worth fighting for.
Even a corpse makes a death rattle. A desperate last attempt. But perhaps too late.
And do you know that Gaia is a corpse? For sure. 1000%.
Do you?
So you don't.
Look around, child. Does this look healthy to you?
I look around, and does it seem like it's a normal swamp, or does it seem like it's actually been like infested horrifically?
I will say it looks pretty bad. I wouldn't say worse than a normal swamp would, but with the presence of this creature, it is looking a little worse for wear, yeah.
I mean, it's kind of hard to say here. You have picked like the perfect location, because swamps are actually really good at not only breaking down the environment to support the ecosystem, but also to preserve some of the bigger things. So, places like this is actually where the worm should thrive a little bit.
Agreed. You are part of the cycle. You have your place here.
You would all know all about identifying what's dying, wouldn't you, Juniper?
I mean, all Gru are familiar with it after a while. Not sure what I specifically have any different.
There is no obvious solution to avoiding the grip of the warm stone. The best thing to do is remove it. Distance yourself from it.
Is there an easy way to identify where these wormstones are placed? Because if the easiest way is to remove them and they're hidden, removal is not the best option.
How else do you detect radiation, a contagion, an infection?
I'll just nod at those words. And then kind of glance over to Delphine. What else do you want to ask this thing?
She pauses and thinks for a moment. Spirits talk. News travels at whatever speed it does in the Umbra. Do you know anything of the Black Spiral dancers that attacked up north?
Know of them? We all know of the dancers. But of these particular ones, no.
Is it lying?
Give me a wits and insight.
Can we sit?
Yeah. Give dots an insight. You can add to their pool or make your own roll.
I want to make my own roll on that.
I'm going to make my own roll. What rage am I at?
I'd say rage 2.
One.
I got 5.
I got 3.
All right, Ray, for sure it's withholding. Is not telling the entire truth. Juniper, you could go either way. And Delphine, it is definitely telling the truth.
I look at Delphine and I just shrug and just kind of.
Yeah, Delphine, like her shoulders relax as she's accepting what it says. So, like, she's not arguing with it.
At that point, I will kind of take a step forward. Obviously, that's not 100% true. You must know something. You may not know every dancer that was a part of it, but you must know about 1 or 2 of them. At least rumors or stories. There is something you know.
You can give me a charisma or manipulation and persuasion roll, or intimidation, depending on how you wish to frame it.
I'll do persuasion. Three successes.
A chortling sound comes from deep within the log, almost like a chuckle. Leave it to a follower of the horned serpent to be so clever. Rumors. Yes. I have heard of the attack and the devastation. But I was not there. I do not know which dancers went there. But for such destruction to be caused can only mean one thing. She arises.
I will cock my head a little bit and frown. Exactly is she?
She is the flail. She is the whip. She is the herald of apocalypse. The worm's chosen.
Does this chosen have a name?
To speak it is to bring her wrath. Is that what you wish for one so young?
Fair point. Other than these titles, does she have a nickname or another moniker more easily identifiable than her true name?
For one so wise, you're not listening. She is the worm's chosen, the herald of the apocalypse, the flail and the whip.
You said the flail and the whip. Does she carry one of those? Like, why is she called that?
The spirit turns and focuses its beady eyes on Ray. To tear bone and flesh from bone.
I will lock eyes with the spirit and narrow my eyes and just clenching my fists. I won't respond to that, but I know what he's referring to.
We won't ask for her name or anything that would bring her upon us. That is not what we want. We do not wish to invite her to us. That being said, you, being a spirit of the worm, would know if she were to approach. Would you not?
We would all know if she were to approach.
Thinking on this, she looks to her packmates and urges them to come closer so they could speak quietly. What if we tried offering it something in return for a warning if she were to be coming?
What could we offer it?
Well, the worm does have a place in this swamp. We could potentially offer to bring corpses, like any corpses, deer carcasses, stuff like that, offer it to the swamp. It is a worm spirit.
My face gets weirdly stoic, and I nod slowly. I mean, that could work. There are things that we hunt, and I know that Stakes prefers animals, so if we just bring it some corpses.
Offer to
I think
maintain the swamp for it.
I don't know. This seems like a more powerful worm spirit. I don't know if it would be content with simple corpses or maintaining the swamp. It may want something greater than that. For something, because in my eyes, this is a big favor we're asking for. This is a deal that's very lopsided towards us.
Knowing if she was coming, she took out 3 steps, right?
I understand. It would be a massive benefit to us. But is it going to tell us when she's 3 states away or right before she's on our doorstep?
we'll have to set up some pretty specific parameters if we do this.
It's here. If we could get its name, we could at least always summon it if needed, but maybe we can discuss it with Charles or Aspen.
I think we should discuss everything first before coming up with a deal.
Fine.
Do we want to ask if it would even be willing to do it for a price?
No, because then it would want to make a deal then and there. It'd be better to keep it in our back pocket then. But knowing that we have an option of potentially making a deal in the future, if things start getting really bad.
You know, there's still this entire conversation we have to figure out an offering for right now. Because it's probably
Bring
going to
it.
ask us for something.
Bring it a deer. But if it already gave us the information and hasn't asked of anything yet, so if
We can always leave and come back. Obviously, the spirit resides here. If we need more information later, if we want to strike up this deal, we can do it later. I agree the worm is part of the triad, but it's still something we should be cautious about. I know from experience.
Sorry, I had something in my throat there.
that's all I had to ask it about.
I mean, I wasn't even expecting to come in the first place, so I don't have anything to ask.
I will break away from the group and take a couple steps towards the spirit. I have something else I would like to ask of you. Another line of questioning. I have a friend who has been inhabited by a bane for a good amount of time. I have a solution to fixing him, but I'm a little worried that it might fail. I know there's a timetable on most of these things. How long is it usually till it's too late? Because this is your expertise.
If the spirit is weak, if the subject has a lack of strength and will, change can be almost instantaneous. If it takes time, each case is different.
My friend obviously has a strong will and has been able to persevere for a while. So if the spirit is weak, does it make it easier to get rid of it?
Yes. If it's been a while, the spirit is not weak.
I'll look down at the swampy ground and just look at all the bugs and swamp crap just about around and think for a second. If it's not weak, then what kind of fight should I expect from this thing?
That depends. How much of your friend do you want left?
I want to save him completely.
then you will have to offer something in exchange. For what has been eaten isn't easily returned.
I will just let out a big exhale and then just nod and then turn back to Delphine and Juniper and kind of give them a look of, do you guys have anything else?
Were we privy to hearing that?
Yeah, I think so. He didn't make any moves for it to be private.
Okay. She kind of looks at Ray a little bit sad for him and wary because she knows what that line of questioning was about. And she's honestly just more worried for Ray right now just because she is concerned about this whole Jordan thing and she's worried about how this line of questioning might affect this problem that we all will be dealing with eventually. But she sighs a little bit and shakes her head. No, that's all I had.
After listening in to Raymond and the Wyrm spirit talking about Jordan, I am also a little bit apprehensive, but I know that Raymond is honestly going to turn up any little bit of information he can find about this and try and come up with the best solution. So I am trying not to be a little suspicious. But internally I know that I'm going to have to keep a close eye to make sure that he doesn't lose himself completely trying to fix his friend, especially with what this worm spirit just said about what it would take. And after studying him for a moment, I'll shake my head. I don't have anything more to ask. Out of the worm spirit, at least.
Since I'm in the front and was talking with it, I will turn back. You've answered all the questions that we've had. We appreciate you and the help that you've given us.
And in return,
I just mouth "I told you" to Delphine.
Delphine will roll her eyes just in, and not in any sarcastic way, just in a yeah, just I get it. I know, I figured it would come. I was just hoping it wouldn't sort of way. And she looks down to the spirit. We have Lupusborn that hunt regularly. We would offer you the carcasses of the remains to be part of the cycle that you are also a part of.
Again, you hear that chortling, raspy response from within the tree. You offer me leftovers from your hunts.
Would a fresh carcass be more to your liking?
No. What I crave is far more spiritual. Access. Soon enough, you will be creating. And when you do, I want access.
She narrows her eyes at it. We cannot negotiate for something that doesn't exist yet.
We already have.
Three large animals and a discussion.
No.
Can I do an insight check on that we already have moment?
Absolutely. Go ahead and roll the wits and insight.
I also roll on that.
Yeah.
I got 6 with a crit.
Four.
He's likely referring to Ray's request.
I go from a quizzical face to like an and I'll nod over at Ray.
I'll look back at her, and I didn't fully understand what he was meaning, so I don't understand the look that's being given.
Your request. He's talking about, or it's talking about your request.
And the time comes when you construct a home of your very own. You will allow my entry. But in exchange, I promise you, none of mine shall follow. Just me.
She'll lean in to Ray. That's a big ask, one without us even knowing its name.
Yeah. I don't know.
I look down at it. How can we grant you access if we don't even know your name?
When the time comes, you will.
I step back in for a little group huddle. I don't know about this. Like, I'm already pushing it, talking to the spirit as it is, and being respectful and the balance and all of that. But like to let one into a residence that we would all, or that would be shared, is.
It gave
Right.
us information without asking for anything in return.
Well, no, it's asking for it now. So it's not giving us anything for free.
Just saying, from a negotiation standpoint, this thing didn't really plan ahead.
You didn't ask the cost.
Why would we assume cost when you so freely gave it?
Know what they say about assumption. Of course, I could let you leave here with nothing, not even a memory.
Is it
I-
bluffing?
Give me a wits and insight.
Would also like to do a wits and insight before I say the next words coming out of my mouth.
I might as well toss my hat into this pool too.
What? I believe it can do that.
6 with a crit again.
Sixth non-crit.
It seems extremely confident in what it's saying, not even the slightest waver.
For the sake of conversation, I would just like to say that this conversation specifically never actually had a cost that's with it. There was not even the slightest hint of we will give you this in return for having this information. The information was freely given with no cost discussed previously. So it's kind of hard to turn back around and say that we owe you something when you did not ask for anything to begin with.
You go to a restaurant. When do you receive the bill?
Oh, that's a restaurant. That's not a nice swamp. Just having a conversation with somebody or something.
You're not the lawyer, Juniper. Stay in your lane.
I mean, no, I'm not a lawyer. But also, you didn't ask for any cost and already freely gave up that information before any discussion of a cost was made.
Not a lawyer, but she is a ragabash.
Then leave and see what happens. If you can.
You said you wanted something spiritual. And I know that us as Geru have multiple. We are split between the spirit and the living world. So I offer you this instead. And I will walk up to the tree. And I will unbutton my sleeve and roll it up. How about I give you a bit of myself?
Okay, well, hold on a second. Hold on.
I know what this feels like, and it's been done to me before. So I know this is something that you can do. So I'm offering it to you now.
You think we're all the same? What did I just say about leftovers?
I'm giving you a second option. I can give you something right now as payment instead of something later on that we might not be fully able to accomplish. So I'm giving you an immediate satisfaction to the deal, or something that can happen later. What would you rather have?
Oh, if I'm understanding this correctly, you are offering a bit of yourself to me.
I'm pretty sure the reason this cost is so high is because of my line of questioning.
Assumptions, Raymond.
I told you the deal.
I'm clarifying. Bit of yourself to me.
Yes.
And as it clambers out of the hole, you can see that it's looks like almost like a miniature dragon minus the wings. Got 4 legs with claws on it. Crawls out onto your exposed arm. So be it. And it burrows itself into your arm, diving head first. As it enters in and squirms for a moment. It then emerges back out. And you see a scar on the inside of your arm. Thanks for that. You may go. Raymond. All costs for any Ghost Council gifts are doubled until further notice.
I am just staring at Raymond in absolute bewildered horror right now, just speechless.
Delphine was studying the moment, and she was watching Ray's interaction with it and the quick offer of his spiritual essence essentially to it, and the confident knowledge behind it. And now she's mentally wondering what else Ray has been up to, and will simply walk over and study. Like, she'll just take his arm and just study the mark on his arm for a moment.
Sure.
Like,
Give
is
me
there an occult roll I could make potentially?
intelligence and occult. Yeah.
Can I assist with that? Because I also have a dot in occults, and
Sure.
Juniper is just. I'm shaking my head. And Juniper is just shaking her head, cannot believe what she saw, like, was there fully for the whole thing. And as soon as she sees Delphine walking up and studying, she would definitely assist with that.
Three successes.
Studying his arm, you can see that it is a mark. He has been essentially branded or scarred in some fashion. Like, he has worm-marked flesh, effectively. And can't tell exactly what it does. But there is definitely a mark of ownership or a claim made by this marking.
She gives a heavy sigh, just gives him a look. I'll look into this. Try to figure a way out of this one too.
You hear the same chortling come from the tree that the lizard has climbed back into.
God damn it, Raymond.
Let's get out of here before we talk about this more.
She'll release his arm, and she'll start stepping away so they can get to a place where she can perform the right to go back.
And after, like, we step away far enough to where we're not, like, in direct eyesight of that worm spirit, I am gonna hit Raymond upside the back of the head for that. You fucking idiot. Out of all the things, especially what we just talked about. And I just
said-
keep muttering under my breath.
We'll talk about it when we're not in the Umbra, okay? I'll just rub the back of my head.
Damn right, we're gonna fucking
Fine.
talk about it.
Join hands.
I won't even make you roll since you rolled so successfully the first time. I'll keep that roll for your transition out. As you pass over to the other side, the swamp growing less dangerous, less looming. However, as you pass to the other side, you see that darkness has set in fully. Night has taken hold, and the air carries an extra chill to it.
I will let out a big sigh or a big breath that I didn't know I was holding. Like I said, I felt like the cost was higher because of my questions, so I took on the responsibility of that.
I understand why you did it. What disturbs me is the knowledge and comfort behind it.
Yeah, just how quick and ready you were to do that and just give your life force up. You know, it didn't really seem like that was the first time you did it, Raymond.
I mean, technically it wasn't. This was different. But I didn't want something that would affect all of us. Potentially even worse down the line. So
Here's the thing, though, Raymond. We know about this, so you cannot delay dealing with it for a year. As soon as we're done with the Piney Point truck, as soon as we're done with Jordan, she's gonna grab his arm again and tap on the mark. This is next. Deal?
deal. Because if I'm being honest, at least this seems fixable than what he was offering before. So, in my mind, we got the better deal. You guys might not think it, but I think so.
I'm gonna chalk this up to you just being a ghost council.
I'm just gonna chalk this up to you being stupid.
Now, Raymond, with accepting this deal from the Wyrm Spirit, as long as you maintain the brand, you may use Wyrm speech for free. However, any Ghost Council gifts will cost double. This is where we go to break. We'll be back in just a few minutes with the second half of tonight's story. When you finally return to the cairn, it's evening. Late in the evening. You find that the bottom of your pants, maybe your shoes, are damp and wet from the truck through the mud. The cold clings to your feet. But as soon as you enter Vaughn and the cairn, not as unbearable as it was before. Once you enter in, Delphine, you head over to the area you've been working on. And Juniper, you see as Raymond departs, you have an opportunity. Just you and Delphine. While there are others in the cairn moving around, Eliza over by the RVs, you have space and room to talk. So as you follow behind her, Delphine, what does she see?
So, Delphine has taken up gardening in the past month. So what you see is just it is not a very good plot, like area. Like you can tell this was very much a beginner garden, but you can see that time and effort has been put into it. There's patches of freshly turned dirt where there is like little shoots of new growth that have just started coming in. In front of each of these plots, you can see that there are these flagstones that like she probably picked up from like Home Depot or Lowe's or something, and you can see that they're like unless you're close enough to read it, you can't make out what they say, but you can see that there is carving etched onto each of these flagstones that are on the ground laid in front of each of these plots. And she is pretty much just going to work, like making sure that they're water, checking to make sure to like take out any weeds. And she's honestly like muttering a little bit in complaint because she is not a gardener. She has never done this before in her life. So it is a learning curve for her. So she is not really getting it. And anytime, and like as she's developing this skill, she's running into fumbles a lot, and they frustrate her.
I spend some time an awkward distance away, just watching her and fidgeting with my hands, trying to figure out how to even just say, "Hey, Delphine, you got a minute?" without being weird about it. Um, as I watch Delphine kind of struggle to tend to the garden that she has created, um, I bite my lip and just kind of shift my weight awkwardly from foot to foot before just shaking my head, muttering "fuck it," and walking up loudly to Delphine. Uh, do you want any help?
She flinches a little bit just because she was so focused on what she was doing that she didn't really, even with the loudness, she hadn't paid attention to the approach. And so she just like jumps a little bit and looks over her shoulder, relaxes a little bit, but then tenses just a little bit again. And she'll awkwardly look between her Juniper and the sunflower plot that she's working on currently. And she'll yeah, I guess I've been working on this, but I'm not the best gardener, and Eliza says that, Eliza has been trying to teach me, but this is something that I'm honestly not good at.
Well, but this is one of the few things I have an actual lifetime of experience with. So, uh, let me just adjust some things here, and I'll just start tidying up some of the little plots where uh, the sunflower bed is. Um, and after a few very awkward minutes of silence and focus, I'll stop and look at her. I I actually wanted to talk with you a little more seriously.
She glances at Juniper out of the corner of her eye, and you can see her just kind of close, just like her shoulders kind of drawing in a little bit, but she doesn't try to move away or anything. She's guarded, pretty much, is how the best to describe her in this moment. But like being this close to her too, you would notice that like it's obvious that she's gotten a haircut since you guys last really spent any time together, but you'll notice that there is a little bit more color in her face than there used to be. And she has put on just a little bit more weight than she has had before. And she honestly looks a little bit healthier than you've ever seen her. Okay. You are free to talk. I mean, go ahead.
I make a mental note about how noticeably better Delphine looks now that I have gotten like a closer eye. Probably the closest that we've been next to each other in months at this point. Um, and I am silent for another moment before sighing. There has been a lot of shit that has happened. I know that that is an understatement of all understatements. And I don't know how to say or word this in a way that will make you believe what I am saying. But I am sorry for killing your parents.
Before you respond, Juniper, are you sincere?
Yes.
Roll me a charisma and persuasion. Now, Delphine, you can react to this however you want. This roll isn't for you.
You said charisma and persuasion?
Yes.
Is my rage still at 2 or has it bumped up?
I would say it probably did bump up in the swamp temporarily, but I'd say it settled back down to a 2. You're probably still have some lingering feelings about what happened in the swamp, but right now you're focused solely on this moment.
I got 2 successes.
Delphine pauses for several moments looking at Juniper and hearing her apology. What is her how body language wise, how is Juniper presenting right now?
Um, so Juniper is currently on the ground next to Delphine. Um, she is like sitting on her knees. Her hands are clenched up pretty tightly, and she has a strained look on her face and is looking very apprehensive, awkward, and nervous, but is being sincere about her apology. And that's why she's very awkward about it.
She turns back to the little plot of sunflowers and she readjusts the flagstone on it that's in front of them. And reading it, you can see that it just simply reads Garrett Red O'Leary. I got started on this about a month ago, but I had the idea right after we found out about hell. Being the only silent strider here, I thought it was kind of a little bit of a responsibility I had to do this. I don't. This is. Death is not something I'm comfortable or familiar with, but it seems to be the lot I've drawn in life. Owl says we respect and honor the dead. We perform rites for them. That is all. That is what Owl asks of her silent striders. What was your mom like? Your dad? Your family?
I sharply inhale at the question and don't even try to mask the pain that contorts my face. Just thinking about them. But I know that this is what Delphine needs, and I feel like at this point it's the least I can do is answer these questions and start somewhere. My parents and my family. What I know of them is I was thinking about saying they're more simple folk, but that feels a little disrespectful because there was a lot of intelligence. But my mom was one of the most gentle yet stubborn people I have ever known. She she never really got angry and almost never yelled. In fact, if my mom was yelling, if something was catastrophically wrong. My father was just so easygoing. Honestly, he never let the stress that we were under show, never let the pressure of high quality builders um, affect him, I guess. Um, my grandpa, he is just a crazy old man. He was in Vietnam and came back not quite the same person, and is just like one of those kind of cliched crazy old military guys that was constantly like, the world's gonna end, we gotta prepare. Rah, rah, rah." And my brother, I pause and just look at the dirt. My brother was my best friend and also the most annoying little creature on the planet. And I would give anything to be able to talk to them again.
As Juniper is speaking, Delphine will gesture her for her to follow to the next bit of plots so they can tend garden while they talk, and direct her to start tending to the next plot that she would. It's a patch of gladiolus that just started growing recently with a flagstone for Aaron Foles, while Delphine goes to tend to a patch of daisies for just an individual that has a single name because she couldn't get the last name just yet, but for an individual named Duncan, Forge's friend. And she will start picking out any weeds, tearing away any grass that's threatening to overtake the flowers, and she'll look to Juniper as they tend. You know, I forced myself to have a vision of you once. Before you told me that it was you, I had already known. And I saw you in this vision as a little girl. You were dragging the weight of your home and your family. Behind you, you were struggling in the snow. And I don't know your mother well at all, actually. But I can sense that what you say of her is true, because when I saw her face in this vision, she didn't look angry or vengeful. She just looked sad, looking down on you, as if she was upset of the burden you had to carry. I could tell just from this vision that your parents did love you a lot. And what happened to them was wrong. I'm not going to deny that. You lost people that they were your whole world. But I don't think your mom would have wanted this for you, Juniper. I don't think she would have wanted you to feel this way.
I frown as Delphine says that about my mom, and I just pause on a weed. Yeah, it's funny because she wouldn't say that she is disappointed in me, but the look of pity would be not great.
She wasn't looking at you with pity. I think that should be very clear. It was concern. I don't think any parents want a life for their children where they have to carry any burdens of guilt or hate or anger. I don't think that your mom would want you to use this pain that you're feeling. I don't think my parents would even want me to use this pain that I'm feeling. They wouldn't want us to be fueled by this animosity and resentment, just focusing on the past. I think they would want us to have moved on and looked to the future. She'll start moving and tending to another couple of plots. One of them is it's a plot of blue violets, and another one of red carnations, the state flowers of Wisconsin and Ohio.
I'll have to agree with that one, Delphine. I I talked to your parents, though it's kind of hard to ignore them. Sorry. Um, they they loved you a lot, and they still do. And I can tell you for a fact they don't want any of this for you either. They didn't want any of it at all. Not even the situation they were stuck in.
She pauses a little bit. Just a shaky sigh. You know, I ran away because I wanted them to come after me. I know that they didn't do good things. I'm not going to deny that. They worked for bad people. But part of me was always just holding out hope I can be stupid. You can call me stupid and you can think it's stupid, but part of me was always holding out hope that we'd have a chance, even the little smallest chance of having a better relationship. And you don't realize that that's what you were actually wanting until that option is completely gone and away from you.
I don't think that it's stupid of you to have wanted that. I don't think that it's stupid of you to have run away in the hopes that they would chase you. I know from what you've said, it was a complex relationship that I can't understand because I didn't have the same upbringing. I'm just sorry that I took that chance away from you. Even if I didn't know the, how deep the ramifications would be, I'm sorry that I didn't talk to you, especially when I found out for myself who they were. And I'm
She'll,
sorry. Oh,
no, go ahead.
and I'm sorry for taking that decision away.
She'll, wipe her eyes with the edge of her sleeve, and she'll go to the last two remaining plots. One plot is a plot of white daisies, or no, it's white poppies. It's a plot of white poppies, and she just has another flagstone on it in front of it that just says her parents' names, Ava and Cameron Duncan. And then she points Juniper over to the last plot, which isn't flowers, it's a shrub. And it is a juniper shrub. And in front of it, thanks to the help of Artie, she was able to get her family's names. So you see a flagstone with the names Sophia, William, Rowan, and Henry Cameen etched onto them.
My eyes narrow for a moment before I soften back up, trying to not go into my habit of distrusting everybody around me and wondering who's undermining me and getting info behind my back. This is not what this is. And I choose instead to appreciate the gesture of good faith. It's beautiful. I why did you go through all of this effort despite everything?
One, because as a silenced writer, this is what I do. But two, you didn't grieve, not properly. You weren't able to lay them to rest. You weren't able to take the time to mourn them. You didn't get to choose a place where you could do that. You weren't able to tell stories or speak to them or just have a place where you could let yourself feel. You just got thrown into this war of rage without having any opportunity to deal with your trauma. You need to grieve, Juniper.
I take my eyes off the juniper tree and look over at Delphine. But so do you. Neither one of us have been able to fully process what's happened.
She just a wet chuckle from just the tears that she has been weeping, and just puts her hand on the flagstone for her parents. That's what we've been doing. We've been performing a rite for the departed. Grieving, telling stories, talking about them. That's all it is.
Is this what grieving feels like?
Your guess is as good as mine. Kind of in the exact same boat as you.
Will you ever be able to forgive me?
I won't say, I don't intend what I'm about to say next with any disrespect at all. But I've been learning from all of this and from recent events that I've dealt with. I don't want to feel the way that you've been feeling for this past year. I don't want to let anger and my rage and revenge, I don't want that for me. I just want to be able to say goodbye to my parents and go forward.
In this moment, is Delphine being genuine?
She is.
As you say those words, the wind picks up momentarily, and you hear the flutter of wings. Following the sound, you look up to a tree, and you see the glowing eyes of an owl sitting upon the tree branch, staring at both of you. It lets out a soft call. Not a screech, but just a soft, long hoot, I guess is the best way to describe it. And as you do hear that, the stones representing both sets of family members glow temporarily. And the glow is so bright you have to shield your eyes for a moment. But as you lower your hand, you see the silhouettes of two individuals. The Duncans, standing beside their stone. They look towards Delphine with a sad smile. And then look towards Juniper with a respectful nod. Then they look to the stone representing Juniper's family. And in almost a flash, a moment later, 4 more beings join everyone gathered here. There's a boy, an adult man, an adult woman, and an elderly man. The Camines. They stare at their daughter, sister, granddaughter. And your mother, Juniper, says in a soft voice, "It's okay. We're okay. I know you're angry. I know you're sad. I know you're hurting. We are okay. We will be okay. And let go. So we will never truly be gone. Let go of your anger. Let go of your hatred. Don't make what you are a being of vengeance. Do it because it's the right thing to do. You have always made us proud. Will always continue to make us proud. And as long as you're alive, so too are we in you.
At this point, it's just tears falling down my face, and I'm nodding my head as I hear my mom's voice. Something I thought I would never experience again. And all I can say is I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I love you all, and I was just wanted to do right. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I look over at Delphine, and I look over at her parents, and I just cry. I just keep saying I'm sorry.
Your father actually kneels down in front of you, coming to level with your eyes. And he reaches up and touches your cheek. Then live, Junebug. Live. Happy. You have a chance to do great things, but also to live. Don't give that up for us. Do it because of us. Live for us. All we've ever wanted is for you to be happy, healthy, safe. Even in the last moments, all I could think was I'm glad you weren't there.
I wipe my eyes and I just chuckle sadly when he says that, and more tears just spew out. I don't even know. I don't even know what happiness is anymore, Dad. I don't. I'll try. Okay, I'll try.
What have I always said? What we don't know, we learn. What we don't have, we make or we find. You might not know what happiness is. You might not have it with you now, but you can find it, or you can build it. I know you can.
Okay. I will. I will for you guys.
This point, the Duncans look to Delphine. Her father speaks up. Doing it. Was never sure this day would come, but I'm so glad it did. Everything you said is true. We weren't the best parents, and we probably should have chased you. Easy to say that in retrospect. But we never stopped loving you. Never stopped wanting the best for you. Even if we had different ideas of what that was. I'm sorry.
Delphine will wipe her face a little bit and stand up to be at level with her parents. Sorry, too. I was acting out when I should have just talked to you. I just wanted us to have what everyone else had.
I wish we had given that to you. It was... Well, there's no excuse. But just because you can't have it with us doesn't mean you can't have it.
She nods. I'm realizing that. I have friends and people that are taking care of me, that want me to get better, that are helping me.
Don't diminish the work you've done. You are helping you, Delphine. You have decided to make this choice, change. And I am so incredibly proud of you.
She reaches into her pocket and she pulls out a horrendously fluorescent orange chip, poker chip. She just holds it up, working on it. Won't let those fuckers take any of what you've worked for. They already, because of them, because of them, I don't have you anymore. Won't let them have anything else.
We were just as much a part of that as they were. Don't. Nice as it is of you, don't give us the full grace. We made mistakes too.
Call it motivation.
At this point, your mom, Ava, speaks up. Consider this a parting gift, my beloved Brianna. Our contracts kept us from saying a lot in life. We're not exactly alive anymore, are we?
She laughs at her mom's shrewdness. No, you're not. NDAs don't mean shit.
Well, this is a gift for you, both of you. A peek behind the curtain. Who we took our orders from. It's a man named Mr. Black. At least that's all we knew him as. He would have been the one to decide the final call. Our supervisor. This is something you must do. Must resolve in order for both of you to find peace. Mr. Adam Black. He operates out of a corporate building located in Chicago. He handles most of the matters for the region. But if you do so, don't take it for granted, and don't go in. Don't underestimate it.
She shakes her head. Won't. Won't. Promise.
It's time for us to go. But know that we love you.
Love you too.
We're sorry. But you don't need to forgive us. You're already doing exactly what you need to be doing.
She bows her head, letting her hair shield her face a little bit. And then she'll look up to Owl. Take them where they can be at peace.
The spirit dips its head slowly. Juniper, your father, who's still kneeled down at eye level with you, time for us to go, Junie. You've done good. So good. You're gonna do incredible things. You're going to be. I know it. Just because we're not here doesn't mean we don't have family.
I nod my head and flatten my lips together at the Junie nickname that I've always hated. I'll let them have this one last time. I'm gonna miss you all. I already do. So much. But
We're okay.
I will. I know. I promise I'll try and live my best life so that I can come and tell you guys all about it. And it won't be in vain. Nothing that happened will be in vain.
Tell your sister that I love her. I'm sorry I never got a chance to meet her.
I just cry even more. I will.
Take care
Now
of yourself.
stand up.
But
Sorry. I'll stand up and I'll look at all of my family.
They smile as your father stands up to join them. He holds hands with your mother. Your brother just gives you a wink and a finger guns. And your grandfather, whose face was almost always etched into a frown or a scowl, actually smiles. Now it's a non-teeth showing smile, but a smile nonetheless. They then turn and begin to walk towards the owl, the Duncans coming alongside of them. And as they reach the base of the tree that the owl's perched upon, they turn to face both of you one last time.
I'll reach my hand out to Delphine for her to take it if she wants, as we say our final goodbye.
Delphine will take it.
Watching you both take each other's hands, they smile and then turn and continue walking as they dissipate, reaching the forest's edge. The owl dips its head once more before taking off and flying off in the direction that they were walking, leaving the two of you together by the garden. As the spirits are put to rest, so too do we let down our burdens. With this act, in this moment, Juniper, you are relieved of the haunted flaw and a point of Hoglosk or Hirano at your choice. Delphine, you are also relieved of a point of Hoglosk or Hirano at your choice, as your guilt, anger, frustration goes with them to the beyond. We now transition to our final scene of the evening. Our final scene takes us to a house across town. Over the months that you've been here, Raymond, you have made pretty significant improvements to the structure. You've removed some of the rot and decay, the mold. You've replaced cracking and breaking boards and foundations. You've even, over time, reshingled the roof. But this time, as you arrive at the house, your mind isn't on the work that you've done, isn't on the improvements you've made. Your heart pounds in your chest, because this will be the first time since revealing to your pack that you will be visiting Jordan again. A part of you wonders, will he even be there? Having heard that he has been leaving the home, visiting with another of your pack members forged from failures, as well as who knows what else. As you approach, you see a light on in the same window that Jordan can normally be found. Though the curtains are drawn, you can see the edges of the light breaking through. As you enter through the doorway, the soundtrack you expect to hear awaits you. as Jordan's raspy breathing can be heard from the other room. What do you do?
As I hear the breathing, I'm a little relieved to know that he's here at this moment. Because if I showed up and he wasn't here, I don't know what I would have done. So that's a little bit of a weight off my shoulders. So I will continue walking in, closing the door behind me, stealing a glance at the little closet near the door as I'm walking by, not wanting to open it, but remembering about what was in there last time. And I will walk into the room with Jordan carrying a bag of food and see my friend sitting there.
In the same chair as always sits, or more appropriately, looms Jordan. His long, slender appendages seeming longer than they ever were due to how much weight he's lost over these past few years. Despite you feeding him with regularity and in great amount, that weight never seems to return. Just keeps getting thinner, gaunter. As you enter, his pale eyes look to you. My savior. What have you brought me this time, Raymond?
I will look at him and at this point, I guess, truly look at him and see what he's kind of started to become. And it hits a little bit different than every other time I've shown up after all the talks with everyone. Well, I brought some more food and some good news, hopefully.
News. He reaches out a hand for the bag, and as you pass it to him, he looks at it and just sets it in his lap. What news?
I will go to the chair across from Jordan and sit down. I'm almost there. In like 1-2 more weeks, I should be able to help you. Everyone has said that they're willing to help.
Told
With their help,
them?
we'll be able to. I did.
Raymond, they will destroy me.
No, they won't. They know what I've done, and they know how much I've done to help.
You don't know, Raymond.
Yes.
You don't know what they'll do.
Jordan, I trust them just as much as I trust you.
Trust? You think you can trust them? They're still lying to you, Raymond.
Lying about what? Because over the past weeks, lies have been brought out into the open. We've talked, we've discussed things. There's not more lies to be had at this point. Are you saying that you have been as truthful to me as you can be right now? My best friend, you have been truthful to me at every point.
In this case, yes. You think they've told you everything about the deals they've made? About what warms their belly? You think they've told you everything?
And you're telling me you do?
I've told you everything you need to know. Whether or not you've listened, that's not up to me.
I'll shake my head a little bit. I don't really care. All I care about is getting you better. And that is going to happen now that they know. And it's going to happen soon.
If it doesn't, if they do destroy me, if it's just been another one of their deceits, what then?
They go back on their word and they don't help me to cure you and fix you. And they go to destroy you instead. I will stop that. First, stop it from happening. And if they succeed, they're not my pack.
Because you've done such a good job at stopping them from doing whatever the hell they want.
I may be their pack leader, but I can't control every move or every action they take. They're still their own people.
He twitches his head as if rolling his neck, and you can hear the wet, sickening cracks emanating from his neck as if it's been stiff and unmoving for quite some time. And what about the cost?
I've stated before, I am willing to pay a cost to help you get better. I don't know what that cost is fully, but I'm willing to pay it.
Even if it's not your cost to pay?
I will make it my cost to pay because this is my burden to uphold.
Burden's a funny thing, isn't it, Raymond? In the military, one's burden spread to their entire unit. How is this any different than that?
It was spread to everyone in a unit because it came down from those above them. They're the ones that push the burden down to those below them. I'm willing to take all the burden from those below me and not shove it off onto anyone that is below. That is the difference. That is why I'm making it different.
So confident, so in control. If wishes were fishes, we'd be living in an ocean. But sure, I'll take your word for it. I have something new to tell you.
I'll lean forward a little bit in my chair. And what would that be?
Well, it's... And then he suddenly stops as he looks to your arm where the scar has been burned upon your flesh. What is that?
It's a scar. Why does it concern you?
It stinks. What did you do?
I did what Garu have done for years, and I made a deal with the spirit.
A yellow-toothed smile comes across his face. Maybe we're not so different, you and I. Not anymore. But
I've
that
never claimed.
poses a problem because now I can't eat. And he throws the bag across. It smashes against the wall, spilling its contents to the ground.
I don't know why this is stopping you from eating. The food's right there.
You're right. I can always go for some takeout.
I'll shake my head. Yeah. I know you've been getting out of the house on your own little adventures, doing what you see as fun. I know you've been talking to Forged, and sprinkling little words into his ears. Why?
Because we may be best friends, Ray. But I'm not going to be your prisoner. Your toy, your plaything. Your guilt and your burden. You've talked so much about your friends. One of them just happened to find their way to me.
I don't want you to be any of that either. Which is why I'm trying to finish this and finally free you. I'm trying to clear all of that and bring you back to be the person you were before and be free. So that way none of these labels exist. None of this continues. It can just go back to the way it was.
How can it go back, Raymond? With you being what you are, nothing can go back to the way it was. He then sits back in the chair. Unless...
Less what?
He then leans forward, putting his elbows on his knees. Unless you really want it to go back to the way it was. Both of us.
Are you saying that if I give up what I am when I am helping you, then this thing inside of you will be satisfied and leave?
I'm saying, if you want it to go back to the way it was, truly the way it was, there are two prices to be paid.
And what are these prices?
Well, you already know one. The other, it's more of a price of vanity. Because you're assuming that were I to be restored, I'd be able to handle being best friends with a monster. That I'd want anything to do with a killer.
Jordan, I might be a monster right now, but we are both killers. So there's no comparison there.
I do what I have to survive. Can you say the same?
I will stare at him for a few seconds, thinking back to all the lives that I have taken. Escaping from the hospital with him. All the lives I've taken from hell to here, to this point in time. Yes, for survival, every life I've taken has been towards that goal. Survival for saving you and getting you out. Survival for myself to keep you a secret. Survival for my pack and taking the lives of those on missions. Every life I've taken has been for some aspect of survival. It may not have been a good reason to survive, but every one I've taken has been, in the end, for survival.
So honorable. There's a problem. Honor has a twin brother that looks alike, sounds alike, smells alike. Is it honor, Raymond, or is it pride?
Like you said, it's two sides of the same coin. So my survival could be looked at as prideful, and my prideful actions could be looked at as survival. Is there really that much of a difference?
Intent. Everything you've done, it's been for you, not me.
I can't argue against that. Every action I've taken has been for me, with the goal of saving you. That doesn't fix the reasons for why I did what I did, or why I've done the things I've done. But my intent was to help you. And in the same vein, fulfill my own desire.
Such a complicated web you weave. But this plan you have, what does it entail?
We're going to perform a rite. And this rite will drive out the bane that's inside you. And in doing so, you'll be free from it.
But what if it doesn't want to go? What if you have to drag it kicking and screaming and clawing the ground?
Then I'll be the one dragging it out.
Again, Raymond, at what cost? It might not be yours to pay, even if you want it to.
If I'm being honest, and that's been a whole thing recently. If the price is too much to pay and it affects those that are helping me, I don't know what I will do. I don't know what price is too much to pay. I am willing to pay any price, but I know they aren't.
Then it'll never work. And it will only kill me.
I don't believe that to be true. I know.
Believe? What is there to believe? I'm telling you. Actually, use your logic, Raymond.
I can't be logical in this situation. Everything I've done at this point is not logical. Everything I've done, everything I've put forward to help you has never had an ounce of logic to it. And I can admit that. I don't care if it's not fucking logical. I am going to try everything I can to save you. I am going to pay any price that I can. I will take all the fucking burden I can to help you. No matter what anyone says, no matter what you tell me or anyone fucking tells me, I am going to try.
The only way we both live through this is if it has a place to go. It's been too long. And if you don't want us both to die, it has to go somewhere.
I know.
If they aren't willing to pay the price, it won't work, and we will both die.
Then I'll let them know the price to be paid. And if they're willing to help and pay that price with me.
Oop. As you say, they listen to you. Because if they don't, you might as well say your goodbyes.
At this point, I'll stand up from the chair. And I'll look at Jordan sitting down. I really hope that they listen to me too.
Even though it would be too late for me afterward, I think you'll have everything you need to know about them.
I guess we'll see.
It's We will.
Jordan climbs off of his chair and moves over to where he discarded the bag against the wall. And he lowers himself down, almost like a feral creature over a kill, and just begins devouring. Grabbing handfuls off the ground and shoving them into his mouth carelessly. Is there anything else you do before departing?
As he's just in that corner, gorging on the food that he discarded, not caring that I'm there anymore and just eating, a thought flickers through my head, and I slowly, subconsciously reach for my gun. And as my hand grasps it, and I put the weight on it, I'll just let go with the realization of what I just thought. And I will back out of the room and go to leave.
And this is where our story comes to a close this evening, but not without one last scene. In our final scene, we find ourselves on the edge of the woods that same night. The same night they visited the swamp. The same night they said their goodbyes. The same night they learned exactly what it's going to take. But this isn't about them. No, because at the edge of the woods, exiting the tree line, we see a black wolf with scars across its face, walking down across the grass. As it has left the tree line, it begins to shift. Standing up tall with a trimmed goatee, the same scars across his face, Matthias Morningkill strides to the car. He climbs in the driver's side, and as he adjusts the mirror, we see the serpentine lizard-like face of the spirit they spoke to in the swamp. Pashagut. And this is where our story comes to a close. Thank you so much to these amazing players. Thank you to everyone watching at home. Go follow St. Pete by Night on all of the social media listed in the description, and come join our community by following the Discord link. We will be back next week with another episode of Hellhounds, where they finally take on the shipment that is leaving the state. And make sure to tune in on Twitch on Tuesday for the next episode of Rage Across Tampa. Have a lovely evening, everyone, and we'll see you next time.